Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Um, this week's video is going to be another rant against YouTube and Google as well. Behind me, I have the words "do what you want" because these four words. Yes, I know the U is just a U, but these four these four words mean a lot to a lot of people who believe in just individual creativity. YouTube and Google at large has become a bit of a shit show ever since Susan Wojcicki became the CEO of YouTube and what's his face became the CEO of Google. Although I think he's no longer the CEO of Google. But recently, YouTube caught itself in another controversy, and it was from a YouTuber named TheActMan. If you want to know what happened regarding the situation, unfortunately, this is just a story that keeps getting repeated many, many times. I will have a link to a recent Moist Critical video that will help explain the situation. As for my brief thoughts on the situation, it's a part of a larger trend that has been going on into YouTube for years on end that needs to really stop. But it's not going to, because YouTube does not listen to the creators. They listen to the advertisers. They listen to the companies. If you remember my previous rant, I ranted about how YouTube itself over the years, ever since its Google acquisition, its original purpose as far as, rising up to become the premier spot on the internet for just videos across the web was to not only get advertisers, but to also get money while also getting unique content that you could only find on YouTube. Earlier YouTubers during the more earlier days like Ray William Johnson, The Annoying Orange, Fred Ficklehorn, PewDiePie, Tobuscus, iJustine. Who am I missing? I'm sure I'll think of it. But YouTubers like those really meant something to an entire generation such as myself. I mean, I'll even include Smosh, Ian and Anthony, when Smosh was not a company-driven YouTube channel. It was just two dudes who made videos for fun. I remember when they even made Charlie the Drunk Guinea Pig for a time, and I loved the character. But obviously my parents didn't because, I wasn't really age appropriate. But these four words behind me, "do what you want," are meaning less and less in the eyes of YouTube nowadays, because once it really got itself, not only did it get a foothold in the industry, but it also became the undisputed king by 2012 of video media. Its downfall began in 2013 when it hired Susan Wojcicki as its new CEO and president. And to be completely honest, her presidency and CEO, time as CEO and president, has been a complete joke. It has been a disaster. She has repeatedly appealed YouTube to corporations, late-night show hosts that no one watches, cringy YouTubers who have nothing to really add to the platform instead of more innovative ones. And her YouTube screws over small creators, medium-sized creators. Nowadays, they're pretty indiscriminate with who the hell they screw over. They could delete Markiplier's entire channel and not really give him a reason as to why they deleted it. Now, it's not just YouTube that has also been on a downward spiral for a few years. Google has decided to also do what its largest asset does and screw over people for no reason whatsoever. My dad, to put it in layman's terms and to not get too deep into the details, owns a Google account that is connected to a business. So it's basically a business account, and he trusts his Gmail account to, help him catch up with important business work. Google, 2 weeks ago, locked him out of his account, and all that precious data relating to his business, relating to, all the details regarding his business ventures, was completely lost for the better part of 10 days. Google gave no legitimate reason as to why they locked him out. They only said that he violated one of their policies. When he pressed for a specific answer as to what policy he violated, they did not give an answer. If this sounds familiar, this is because this is basically your average YouTube drama situation when a YouTuber gets into beef with YouTube. Every so often they try to resort, well, not every so often, every time they get a strike on their channel or a video removed and they're threatened with a strike, or something inappropriate, or maybe they don't approve of the content that was shown, you constantly have to ask YouTube or whoever the hell is on the other side of the screen, okay, what policy did I violate? They never really give a straightforward answer to the content creators, now do they? For me, this is again, the ActMan situation just brings me back to this phrase: do what you want. Everyone should be able to do what they want, but it's clear to YouTube, it's clear to all of us that YouTube doesn't really care. They don't want you to do what you want to do. They only want you to do what they want you to do. In other words, they want you to post specific content so advertisers will throw more money at them. When in reality, advertising companies, or just corporations, should be the last of their concerns. They should be the least of their concerns. YouTube was never meant for corporations. It was meant for individuals. But of course, we do not live in this day and age. There were a lot of things in the early 2000s we took for granted, mostly because they were not overrun with corporate decision-making. Nowadays, everything is corporate decision-making, and you have to be incredibly business and PR image conscious. But YouTube's PR image is completely destroyed with content creators. With advertisers, they don't understand the culture of YouTube. So as a result, advertisers can just look at this and say, well, it's not a big deal. It's just a YouTuber who, has a problem with you, but it's not really a big deal as long as we'll just give you $100 million in exchange for not guaranteeing any ad revenue for those pesky peasants who make independent content, or removing the dislike button because we really don't like it when people speak their minds. And while you're at it, could you rip off TikTok and add in an annoying ass shorts feature that no one's really paying attention to? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was pleasure doing business with you. Pleasure doing business. This is basically what YouTube has become over the years. A soulless husk of a shell of its former self. In 2010, 2011, 2012, it was the place to be. Even 2013, Susan's first year of the presidency was not exactly that bad, but it really began to show signs to come when they added the trending page in 2015. And it's just been worse and worse and worse and worse ever since. And Google has just not been helpful at all. Customers have complained that they've been locked out of their accounts for years on end, and people can't get back into their accounts. The main purpose of me writing the phrase "do what you want" on this whiteboard behind me is to convey a simple message. YouTubers, and especially small content creators, live in fear of creating whatever the hell they want. You hear YouTube constantly, look for, it's June, so it's Pride Month. Meaning, like every soulless husk of a corporation, YouTube is celebrating Pride Month with corporate-friendly LGBTQ videos. What they won't show you is the fact that they still demonetize gay creators. Those who identify with the actual LGBTQ community are demonetized. Although, many people who have very anti-LGBTQ views are not demonetized at all. In fact, they're actually heavily promoted in the advertising section of YouTube. Now, corporations aside, YouTube is not the place for us. It's not for us anymore. And we still don't go away because this platform is for us, not them. But again, that means nothing in a world driven by money. So, in recent years, I've come to accept that this is the sad state of YouTube. And if you want to know a prime example of YouTubers, regardless of how small, medium-sized, or big, like gigantic they can be, as long as you're not a corporation or you're not corporately run, you are very much in danger of losing your livelihood here on YouTube. A prime example of that is JCS Criminal Psychology. That dude was run out of town from YouTube for years, and he finally caved this past January. This past January, he officially caved and stopped uploading videos altogether. In recent weeks, he's been deleting a lot of his biggest hits on YouTube, including what Pretending to Be Crazy looks like. Unfortunately, the channel, both his backup channel and main channel, have been a bit of a mess in terms of what videos are still up under the JCS brand. Because last week, the Pretending to Be Crazy video was gone, but the day before I began recording this video, it was actually back up on his channel. A few weeks before I began recording this exact episode, there were 6 videos on his secondary channel. There are now 3 videos on his secondary channel. And who knows, by the time I upload this video, 4 to 5 videos could be on his secondary channel. It's basically a game of poker. He's shuffling the cards every few minutes to avoid getting any of his channels getting permanently deleted off of YouTube, because he genuinely made an entirely new community. A community dedicated to analyzing interrogation footage of some of the worst people to ever set foot in interrogation rooms in the United States. But now that's gone because it's not, advertiser friendly. And it's not really that good. It's not that good of a look for the PR image of YouTube. So they threw everything, including the kitchen sink, at him to get him off the platform. And it worked to a lot of success. And I have to really applaud YouTube here. That was incredible. That's an incredible effort to throw everything they have at practically chasing a YouTuber away from a passion they really wanted to share with the world. I mean, that's just incredible. I mean, it really is. But do what you want must be a rallying cry, because we should be able to do whatever the hell we want without living in fear. But we do not live in this world, and it's a very sad world we do live in, because YouTube aside, it's a scary-ass world we live in right now. Very scary. But when it comes to YouTube specifically, it should be a form of escape in the same way that that sports is a form of escape for many in the world. But instead, in a way, it still is a grim reminder of just how things are right now. I'm going to end this rant here because I'm bummed out. I've spent nearly 13 minutes ranting about this topic, and I'm bummed out. I'll see you all next Saturday, and please check my Twitter for updates regarding the project. Thank you, and have a good day.